The Unshaken Confidence of Mr. Thompson. There was a man named Harold Thompson, a retired postal worker who spent his days in the quiet comfort of his small-town diner, sipping coffee and holding court with whoever would listen. Harold had opinions, strong ones, about everything. The economy, he knew exactly how to fix it. Climate change, a hoax, he'd say with a dismissive wave. Medicine, well, he'd read an article once, and that was enough to make him an expert. The regulars at the diner would nod along, some amused, others simply too polite to argue. But there was one person who never quite bought into Harold's certainty, his old friend, Evelyn. She had been a biology teacher before retiring, and though she never flaunted her knowledge, she carried a quiet wisdom that came from decades of learning, questioning, and admitting when she didn't know something. One morning, Harold launched into his latest theory, this time about vaccines. He spoke with absolute conviction, declaring that they were unnecessary, even dangerous. Evelyn listened, stirring her tea slowly, before finally setting her spoon down with a soft clink. "Harold," she said gently, "have you ever studied immunology?" He scoffed. "Don't need to. Common sense tells you all you need to know." She nodded, unfazed. "You know, when I first started teaching, I thought I had it all figured out too. Standing in front of those students, I was so sure of myself. But the more I learned, the more I realized how much I didn't know." Harold waved her off. "That's just doubt talking. Confidence is what gets things done." Evelyn smiled, but there was something knowing in her eyes. "Confidence is good, Harold, but misplaced confidence, that's dangerous." The conversation might have ended there, but fate had a way of testing Harold's certainty. A few weeks later, his grandson fell ill, a nasty fever that wouldn't break. The doctor recommended a course of antibiotics, but Harold resisted. "His body will fight it off naturally," he insisted. "All these medicines just weaken the immune system." Evelyn, who had been visiting, watched in silence as Harold's confidence clashed with the doctor's experience. But when the fever worsened, something in Harold's demeanor shifted. The unshakable certainty wavered. For the first time in years, doubt crept in. That night, sitting in the hospital waiting room, Evelyn didn't say, "I told you so." Instead, she simply sat beside him and said, "It's okay not to know everything, Harold. The smartest people I've known were the ones who asked questions instead of pretending to have all the answers." Harold stared at his hands, calloused from years of work but trembling now with the weight of his own ignorance. His grandson recovered, thanks to the medicine Harold had so vehemently opposed. And though he still had his opinions, something fundamental had changed. He spoke a little less, listened a little more. It's a strange thing, isn't it? The less we know, the louder we often are. But true wisdom doesn't announce itself with bluster. It sits quietly, aware of its own limits. Confidence is easy when you don't understand the depth of what you don't know. But humility, that's the mark of someone who has truly learned. So the next time you find yourself absolutely certain about something, ask yourself, do you really know? Or are you just comfortable in your ignorance? Because the world is vast, complex, and full of mysteries even the brightest minds haven't unraveled. And sometimes, the bravest thing we can do is admit that we still have a lot to learn. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.